Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 489 based on novel. So let's start. The fourth is the liver. Liver, melt and shatter. The woman's index finger bent to touch her palm. Her words were gentle, but they were filled with cruel killing intent. Wang Lin continuously coughed out several mouthfuls of bloods and was knocked back. The lungs in his chest withered and disappeared inside his body. Without his lungs, he couldn't breathe. The pain caused him to let out muffled groans. After his lungs died, his spleen decayed. Large amounts of blood spread everywhere across his body. The decay of his spleen severely affected his recovery. Wang Lin's body turned pale and spots of blood appeared all over his body. Lastly, his liver melted after she spoke. 4 of his 5 internal organs had dissipated, cutting off his life force. The dissipating ancient umbrella suddenly disappeared without a trace. The 5th is the heart. Without the heart, there is no Tao. The woman calmly looked at Wang Lin. Her thumb slowly bent and her hand formed a fist. After forming a fist, she gently threw a punch toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin felt intense pain in his chest. His heart stopped beating and slowly became petrified. In the blink of an eye, it turned to stone. With his heart petrified, the pain he was experiencing was indescribable. Even Wang Lin couldn't help but let out a mournful cry. Thunderous rumbles echoed when the woman threw her punch. Wang Lin's chest caved in and he was knocked back toward the ground, where the ice had melted back to water. Celestial Imperial Concubine. With a bang, Wang Lin fell to the surface of the water but didn't sink. He endured the pain as his right hand hit the surface of the water and he bounced back up. He attempted to enter the crack in the cloud sea using the jade the mysterious woman had given him, but it had no effect. He tried to summon the nether beast, but there was a seal he couldn't break, and he couldn't sense the nether beast. You have no path to survival, you can't escape. But if you kneel and beg, I may be able to give you a chance of live, the woman said gently as she stepped out of the ice and walked toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's face had no blood and he retreated a few more steps. Wang Lin, won't even kneel to the heavens, so why would I kneel to you? You have humiliated me, so if I don't die today, I'll pay you back 100-fold. Wang Lin's eyes shined. He didn't breathe as he endured the pain and pointed at the sky. Call the wind, summon the rain, magic arsenal. Wang Lin's body gave off a golden glow, and that powerful celestial energy shot toward the sky. The woman had already seen the golden light from Wang Lin. When she saw it again, her beautiful pupils shrank and heavy doubt arose in her heart, but she didn't speak. She stepped forward and moved even faster. She then raised her right hand and pressed it toward Wang Lin knows more. The sky rumbled and 13 black dragons that gave off a golden glow appeared and started howling. Then golden rain started to fall. Each drop of rain contained a soul that had died to Wang Lin. As the rain fell, it created a wind and rain world. Although a lot of the souls had dissipated, a lot still remained. They all rushed toward that woman. As the howling echoed, Wang Lin didn't look at the result but continued to retreat. A flash of coldness appeared in his eyes and he pointed at the sky once more. Mountain crumble, lands collapse. Wang Lin hadn't gained enlightenment in lands collapse, but with his cultivation level, he could imitate it. As he pointed, large volcanoes appeared and thunderous rumbles echoed across the world. Due to Wang Lin's celestial energy, it made Bai Fan's spell into a real celestial spell. All of this wasn't enough to resist the celestial imperial concubine. Wang Lin also didn't intend to use these spells to push her back, he was planning to use the last of Bai Fan's spells. Dark Moon Clear Sky. Wang Lin had only seen Dark Moon Clear Sky, and it was used by Celestial Lord Qing Shui in the 7-colored realm in the Summoned River. They were apprentice brothers who had both cultivated Bai Fan's 6 spells. Wang Lin wasn't as skillful as Qing Shui to use the most powerful Dark Moon Clear Sky at will. However, he could force the activation of Dark Moon Clear Sky by using all the spells before it. He had seen it once, So with this current cultivation level and more than 2,000 years of enlightenment, it wasn't difficult to do at least this. As the thunderous rumbles echoed, the woman calmly walked out of all these spells. They were useless against her. However, just as she walked out, Wang Lin let out a roar at the sky. "Dark moon, clear sky." As Wang Lin roared, he pointed at the woman. With this point of his finger, a bright moon appeared on her face. The moment the moon appeared, the woman's expression changed and her steps stopped for the first time. Dark Moon Sect, the first style. Yes, before Bai Fan was taken in by that old thing, he was a traitor of the Dark Moon Sect. The dark moon on the woman's face rapidly condensed and cracks appeared on it as if it wanted to disfigure her. The cracks were shocking and fresh blood flowed out. The woman let out a groan and her eyes turned extremely cold. If you knew the second style, Dark Moon No Rain, and the third style, Dark Moon Cold Wind, then you might have been able to escape death today. However, with just the first style, as long as I kill you, I can remove it. The woman endured the intense pain coming from her face and headed toward Wang Lin. She knew the spells of the Dark Moon Sect. The Dark Moon Sect spells were extremely vicious. They wouldn't kill immediately but would continue to inflict more and more pain. The longer they lasted, the more difficult it would be to remove them. At this moment, she charged at Wang Lin and closed in on Wang Lin in an instant. Her hand formed a claw and mercilessly pressed down on Wang Lin. Madness appeared in Wang Lin's eyes and he raised his right hand. After using Dark Moon Clear Sky, he formed a fist and threw a punch at the woman. This punch contained ancient power, but it also used the most powerful Black Tortoise spell he had learned from the old vermilion bird in the Fallen Land. Waves of vibration formed ripples around Wang Lin's punch. From afar, these ripples made the area between Wang Lin and the woman look like the water's surface. The two of them met from the two sides of this surface. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the world. Wang Lin gave it his all and borrowed all the rebound force and collided with the woman's hand. Intense pain filled his body, making him feel as if his body was going to collapse. Blood mist erupted from his body and dyed his clothes bright red. His right arm shattered from the joint and he was knocked back. The rejection force inside his body raged and was already unbearable, but he was still able to suppress it by a sliver. That woman also didn't feel good. Blood started flowing from the corner of her mouth and she was knocked back several hundred steps. Her body trembled and the dark moon appeared once more. Even more cracks appeared and the dark moon spread to her neck. As it spread, the spell displayed its viciousness. The intense pain caused the woman to let out a muffled groan. At this moment, she was completely disfigured and looked like a ghost. The damage from Dark Moon Clear Sky caused the woman to cough out blood and retreat several hundred more feet. She suddenly looked up and stared at Wang Lin. She then waved her right hand and an ancient harp appeared before her. This woman looked at Wang Lin profoundly and touched the ancient harp. The harp music echoed across the world. As the music continued, it formed a heaven-shaking killing intent. The music became even more urgent and entered Wang Lin's mind, making him feel as if invisible ripples were bombarding him. This pushed him back several thousand feet and caused blood to start leaking from his orifices. My harp music is something only the former celestial sovereign could hear. For you to hear it today, you can smile as you die. Listen to my song Buried in the Underworld. The woman's voice was calm and her hand over then ancient harp moved faster and faster. The harp music filled the world, but it felt like demonic thoughts had filled Wang Lin's mind. The countless demonic thoughts wanted to tear Wang Lin's heart apart. Wang Lin let out a miserable smile as blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, but he began to laugh. What a good buried in the underworld. As he laughed, Wang Lin turned around and there was a flash of blood light. The dim blood sword appeared and howled through the air. In an instant, another woman silently walked out behind Wang Lin. The moment she appeared, the blood sword shot toward her. She was not surprised Wang Lin could find her. If he couldn't do this, he wouldn't be worthy of them setting up this plan to kill him. She allowed the blood sword to pierce through her. Her body was an illusion, as if she only existed in Wang Lin's eyes and had no real body. She gently smiled. An ancient expression goes, a glance back and a smile can charm all life. Although she didn't turn around, that smile seemed to make the world light up and was unimaginably beautiful. I haven't heard Big Sister's harp music in a long time. To be able to hear it today is all thanks to you. The blood sword was useless and was knocked back, circling Wang Lin. Wang Lin had already retreated when he threw out the blood sword. The harp music was filled with killing intent as it filled the world. I really don't want to kill you, the woman that had no real body looked at Wang Lin. She raised her jade-like hand and gently pointed at Wang Lin. I divine with my celestial soul that you will die in 3 breaths. My prediction will come true with my soul as the catalyst. The woman smiled and nodded at Wang Lin. This divination spell was similar to what the All-Seer had, but it was used very differently by this woman. After she spoke, black circles the size of one's fist appeared all over Wang Lin's body. The moment the black circles appeared, they began to fester. Wang Lin's body trembled and he had a feeling that death was arriving. I predict your body will rot in the first breath. The woman smiled as she looked at Wang Lin. The large amount of black circles all over Wang Lin penetrated deep into his body until his bones could be seen. Even his bones became black and began to shatter. The harp music became even more urgent and fused with the woman's gentle words. It rushed into the festering black recluse and tore his body apart. I predict your bones will collapse in the second breath. Popping sounds came from Wang Lin's body and countless cracks appeared on his blackened bones. The cracks spread until even his skull was suffering the same fate. If his body was transparent, one would clearly see that all the bones in his body were about to collapse as the black cracks spread. Some parts had already shattered. The pain being inflicted here was no less intense than what he felt from the first Celestial Imperial Concubine's 5 burial spell. As Wang Lin retreated, all his life force rapidly dissipated and he slowly walked toward death. He was already seriously injured, and he could barely suppress the raging rejection force in his body. His 5 internal organs were gone, and now, under the divination spell, he was already near his end. But Wang Lin still hadn't taken out the bow. Although he was dying, he hadn't died yet. The sovereign hadn't appeared, and he didn't believe these 2 celestial imperial concubines were the last ones. Wang Lin knew he only had the power to use the bow once. If that arrow couldn't seriously injure the sovereign and everyone here, then he would really die. He couldn't take out the bow until the last moment. The woman looked at Wang Lin gently, the same way she would look at a lover. Her jade-like hand pointed at Wang Lin as she uttered the last words. I predict the 3rd breath. Soul death. Her voice was gentle and fused with the harp music. The 2 celestial imperial concubines were using different methods at the same time to kill Wang Lin. Their powers were fused, one part disrupted Wang Lin's mind and the other used the divination spell to suppress Wang Lin. The 2 complemented each other, making it obvious that this was planned. Just as she spoke the last words, Wang Lin let out a shocking roar. Wang Lin couldn't understand this divination spell, but he could tell that it contained a powerful destructive force. Wang Lin's flesh festered and his bones shattered. Intense pain flooded into him, his body showed signs of collapsing. However, at this moment, Wang Lin raised his right hand and hit his forehead. With this, his body rumbled. His body was a fusion of the ancients and celestials after collapsing and reforming many times inside the nether beast. Thanks to the madman's handiwork, his celestial body was now 50% the immortal celestial body. Although not perfect, it already contained the power of immortality. If not for this moment of crisis, Wang Lin wouldn't change. Once he changed, the rejection force inside his body would erupt out of control. During this entire time, although the rejection force raged inside his body, Wang Lin kept it under control. However, when he switched from his ancient body to his celestial body, his control would collapse. Once the rejection force erupted completely, Wang Lin would lose all chance of suppressing it again. It was like a wild horse escaping its reins, it would be impossible to capture it again. However, at this moment, he had no time to think about this. As his soul was about to collapse, his hand landed and golden light shined from his body. This golden light was bright and spread in all directions. Even planet Suzaku in the distance was golden from the light. The man inside the ice had melted the ice and was just walking out with a pale expression. He immediately saw the glaring golden light and his expression changed once more. As the golden light spread, Wang Lin's ancient god body dissipated and hid inside his ancient god stars. His body emitted endless golden light and became the immortal celestial body. After the immortal celestial body appeared, the expression of the woman that spoke those gentle words changed greatly. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. She came from the same world as the celestial sovereign. When she saw Wang Lin's change, she thought of a legend. When Wang Lin's immortal celestial body appeared, the strange divination spell inside him erupted. Wang Lin's immortal body collapsed. However, just as it collapsed, there was a flash of golden light and it formed once more. The woman with the gentle expression coughed out illusory blood and retreated a few steps. Her divination spell was destroyed and her mind was injured. However, none of this could compare to the terror and disbelief she felt. She originally felt that Wang Lin's original appearance seemed familiar and had her suspicions. However, after seeing his body collapse and reform from the golden light, her expression changed completely. Immortal celestial body. The woman was startled and subconsciously retreated. Her eyes were filled with fear. You actually have the immortal celestial body. The immortal celestial body that all celestials worship. You're not a native cultivator from here, you. Who the hell are you and what is your relation with the celestial heaven emperor? The woman was shaken by the changes in Wang Lin's body. Her mind rumbled as if countless celestial thunderbolts had exploded within her. I can't kill him. His change caused her to feel extreme fear. Several times more than when she faced the celestial sovereign. Not only her, but the woman playing the harp also trembled and her harp stopped. She stared dumbfoundedly at Wang Lin covered in the golden light. Inside the golden light, a storm swept inside Wang Lin's body. This storm was the rejection force that had fully erupted. His body suddenly collapsed under the gazes of the two celestial imperial concubines. After it collapsed, it formed once more. After this repeated several times, the woman that had stopped playing the harp clenched her teeth. At this moment, the dark moon spread even more. If she didn't kill Wang Lin, then not only would this kill her projection, it would even affect her original body. This immortal celestial body is not complete, it was obviously stolen. Kill him. The woman clenched her teeth and grabbed the harp. She pulled the strings and the world rumbled as shocking harp music echoed. As the harp music played, blurry knives appeared before it. She spat out blood and infused the knives with it before making them launch toward Wang Lin. All of this happened in an instant. During one collapse and reformation, Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot from the pain. He let out a roar and his hand formed a seal. Just as the 9 knives closed in, he waved his hand. With this wave, his body collapsed once more. Although his body collapsed, the spell was still used. The world became dark as if shrouded in darkness. Then, in the distance, a sun began to rise. Sundered Night, Wang Lin's first original spell. The world was blurry in this darkness, but it couldn't hide the golden light around Wang Lin's collapsed body. That golden light seemed to fuse with the rising sun and erupted with the power to tear apart the darkness. The power of Sundered Night erupted forth. At this moment, Wang Lin's body reformed once more. He let out a roar and his face became twisted. The intense pain almost made him go mad. He weaved his hand and the water below him rumbled. A giant, stone door appeared. When the stone door appeared, the aura of passing time surrounded the area. Wang Lin's second original spell, Flowing Time, appeared. Sundered Night and Flowing Night were extraordinary spells. As Wang Lin's body continued to collapse and reform, these spells contained his celestial energy and became even more powerful. The world rumbled and the darkness was torn by the golden light. 4 of the 9 knives collapsed to Sundered Night. The remaining 5 collided with Flowing Time. In the end, only 3 knives landed on Wang Lin's body, and they collapsed along with his body. The other woman that had made the predictions rapidly retreated while surrounded by Sundered Night and Flowing Time. She was already feeling shock and panic, causing a flaw to appear in her Tao heart. Now she was being hit by these two celestial spells, making her cough out blood and rapidly retreat. She already had no intention of fighting anymore. However, just as Wang Lin used these two spells and his body collapsed and formed again, a blurry figure walked out from behind him. It was impossible to see if this blurry figure was man or woman, young or old. His body was covered in a vague mist that drifted outwards after he appeared. This old man, one of the 5 masters of the ancient star system, Heaven Master Void Gate, an erratic voice echoed as he raised his hand and slammed down on Wang Lin's back after he just reformed. Wang Lin's body trembled violently and he coughed out a mouthful of golden blood. His body was thrown toward planet Suzaku and smashed into it. That blurry figure opened his mouth and inhaled the golden blood Wang Lin had coughed out. His eyes were filled with greed as his body turned into a cloud and chased after Wang Lin. Celestial bloodline. No matter what your identity is, this old man will take your immortal body. When Wang Lin landed on planet Suzaku, a thunderous rumble echoed. Planet Suzaku trembled as Wang Lin slammed into a mountain like a meteor. The mountain collapsed and rocks scattered as Wang Lin landed on the ground. The earth trembled and a crack formed as Wang Lin smashed in deeper. Thunderous rumbles echoed as Wang Lin smashed deep into planet Suzaku while his body collapsed and reformed. He went through the caves of the Tattoo clan. Although this planet Suzaku had been fished out by the sovereigns fishing in the well, it was still planet Suzaku. Aside from the fact that there were no living things, everything else still existed. The Tattoo clan's cave was still there. As Wang Lin smashed through, he went through the earth and appeared in the 18th layer of the Tattoo clan's cave. Everything here was the same as when he left. One of the walls had collapsed, and outside the gap was the foreign battleground. Fishing in the well was extremely strange as it fished out the foreign battleground as well. Although it was only a projection, the endless wandering souls and countless corpses were still there. Wang Lin's body landed in the 18th layer with a bang and he coughed out blood once more. His body was covered in a golden light, and the pain was enough to make him pass out. However, he clenched his teeth and endured each collapse. One of the 5 masters, Heavenly Master Void God's, palm contained a powerful aura. It hit Wang Lin's back, causing his immortal body to show signs of instability. Wang Lin's immortal body was not perfect. As his body continued to reform, Wang Lin struggled to get up. However, just as he got up, a vague, hoarse laughter echoed. Heaven Master Void God appeared outside the hole Wang Lin had made through the ground. His body was completely formed by fog and his eyes were filled with greed. He raised his right hand and reached at Wang Lin. Wang Lin was about to resist, but his body collapsed once more. When he collapsed, Heaven Master Void God's eyes narrowed and he withdrew his right hand. His fog-like body rushed into the collapsed flesh of Wang Lin. A heaven-given opportunity. It looks like even the heavens themselves want me to take your celestial body. Heaven Master Void God laughed and integrated into Wang Lin's collapsed flesh and blood. Once Wang Lin's immortal body reformed, he let out a miserable scream he hadn't released since the battle began. Wang Lin's reform had a hint of darkness in the golden light. The darkness moved through his body and rushed into his head. A faint laughter echoed in his mind. This body belongs to this old man from now on. It's useless to resist. Enjoy the feeling of being possessed. This feeling is something I fear you will only get to experience once. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot. The pain of being possessed made him feel like he had lost everything. As he struggled with the darkness, he lost control of his legs. An instant later, he lost control of his right hand and upper body. He could only move his left hand, but even that gradually became numb. As Heaven Master Void God's divine sense took over his body, his memories began to fragment. This domineering divine sense rushed toward his memory. It wanted to learn his entire life and then erase him. Wang Lin let out painful roar from his mouth, but it grew weaker. His eyes were filled with struggle, but that struggle gradually weakened. His body flew upward outside of his control. With this body, this old man can do as I wish in this world. I just need to finish this final refining and then even the heaven-defying bead will be mine. The old man's laughter came from Wang Lin's mouth. His expression looked twisted as he flew out of planet Suzaku. However, as he flew into the air, Wang Lin's left hand formed a seal and pointed at the foreign battleground in the 18th layer of the Tattoo clan's home. With this, the countless wandering souls inside the foreign battleground trembled. Wang Lin was once a soul devourer, so he had strong control over these wandering souls. The countless wandering souls inside the projection of the foreign battleground began to rage. As they swept the area, forming a storm, even more wandering souls gathered. A few beings that were also soul devourers were also slowly integrated into the storm. This storm swept across the foreign battleground and tore apart the countless corpses. This caused the wandering souls inside the corpses to join. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the powerful wandering soul storm rushed out of the gap in the 18th layer. This was the first time they had left the foreign battleground. This was the first time they had charged out without that strange law blocking them. Although the sovereign had fished them out with fishing in the well, not even he could not fish out the strange law that sealed the foreign battleground. As a result, this allowed these wandering souls to move without any restrictions. Their excited roar swept across planet Suzaku. This caused planet Suzaku to tremble violently as if countless evil souls had been released. Planet Suzaku could not bear it anymore and began to collapse. Heaven Master Void God manipulated Wang Lin's body to fly out. Although he had taken control, he couldn't stop Wang Lin's body from collapsing and reforming. However, his cultivation level was far above Wang Lin's, so he could forcibly suppress the collapse and reform to a smaller scale. This killing is over, Heavenly Master Void God's ancient voice came from Wang Lin's mouth. He looked toward the two celestial imperial concubines and the man in white who had walked out of the ice. However, before he finished speaking, the planet Suzaku behind him trembled and suddenly exploded. A thunderous rumble echoed across the world when planet Suzaku was torn apart. A monstrous black storm rushed out from the collapsed planet Suzaku and shrouded this world. The expression of Heavenly Master Void God changed and his pupils shrank as he turned around. However, it was too late to retreat. The wandering soul storm rushed out from planet Suzaku and rushed at him at an unimaginable speed. It was as if there was a voice in his body that was calling out to the wandering souls and the few soul devourers that were charging out of planet Suzaku. It was as if that voice belonged to their king. The black storm instantly shrouded Heaven Master Void God and rushed into his body. If you looked closely, you would see that there were countless wandering souls inside the storm. They all rushed into Wang Lin's body. In an instant, the black storm was gone as all the wandering souls had rushed into Wang Lin's body. Wang Lin's body trembled and collapsed once more. This collapse spread tens of thousands of feet. With the help of the countless wandering souls and Wang Lin's own strength, a monstrous aura erupted. He was able to force Heaven Master Void God out of his flesh and blood while releasing reluctant roar. Large amounts of mist spread out as the endless wandering souls raged. This went on until the mist formed back into Heaven Master Void God's body. His eyes were filled with reluctance as he let out a roar and charged forward once more. At the same time, the celestial imperial concubine almost covered by dark moon revealed a cold gaze and stepped forward. The man in white also closed in with powerful killing intent. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's body reformed with the help of the endless wandering souls. Now it wouldn't collapse for a short period of time. His eyes shined brightly as he stared at the incoming Heaven Master Void God. You all looking for death? Wang Lin's previous experiences had caused him to come infinitely close to death. He could no longer care about the fact that the sovereign still hadn't appeared. After his body reformed, his left hand extended out and golden light gathered in it. Then bow appeared in his hand. Shortly after, Wang Lin's right hand grabbed the bowstring and pulled back. In an instant, the bow was fully drawn. His body was pulled straight. There was a flash of coldness in his eyes and they were filled with monstrous killing intent. The moment he pulled, an arrow with a round tip appeared. The body of the arrow had complex runes, and the faint screams of Nan Jiao and Qian Jiao could be heard from it. Bursts of arrow energy surrounded the area and an ancient aura spread out. This caused the expression of Heaven Master Void God to change greatly and his body to tremble. Li Guangbo. You actually found this arrow? The void god's voice was almost twisted. At this moment, he couldn't care about anything else and retreated with terror in his eyes. Damn it, I know why that sovereign still hasn't appeared. Sovereign, I'm not done with you. Heaven Master Void God had almost lost his wits. He was too aware of the power of the bow with this arrow. Just thinking about it made his scalp numb. This old man is not getting involved. While retreating, Heaven Master Void God took out a jade, but there was no reaction. The two celestial imperial concubines knew the bow and arrow better than him. The woman surrounded by the dark moon was filled with panic and quickly retreated. The other celestial imperial concubine turned pale and no longer displayed the pride she had before. Before Wang Lin's arrow, she desperately retreated and also crushed the jade, but there was no response. When this bow was drawn, the heavens and earth changed colors. When this arrow appeared, the clouds scattered. This video will end here.